thank you guys for coming to the February 2025 RAC class. The topic today is Astronomical League and NASA 2025 Hubble 35th Challenge. Our instructor is Dean Herring. The description of this class is we will go over the requirements for the Astronomical League's NASA Hubble 35th 2025 Challenge, what it entails, and how to log it so one can earn a silver or gold award in 2025. We'll also do a preemptive log sheet in class notes. Dean's bio is that he's been with the Raleigh Astronomy Club on and off since 2003. Retired in 2018 from IBM as a mechanical engineer after 41 years and as a master inventor with over 100 patents. He took a break from astronomy after earning the Astronomical League's Master Observer Award, went on to build 19 wooden boats while still working. He returned to RAC full-time in February of 2023 and dived right back into the Astronomical League's Master Observer profession, having completed 20 AL programs, earning the MO silver level. All in all, 26 programs completed and 6 more underway toward the gold level requirements for 30 observing programs. Okay, all good? All right. Okay, all right, now it's 28 programs. All right, so I'm gonna pass it over to Dean now.
It should be on, isn't it on? Now it's on. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so everybody at home, if you've got the groups IO, and you can go to the AL coordinator / AL chat, the PowerPoint is in there, and embedded in there is just about all of the what's in the packet here that's in the class. So you can go ahead and print that kind of stuff out. All right, so what we've got is the Astronomical League and NASA coordinating with the Hubble 35th anniversary. Now, the only thing about this slide I'm going to say that is if you don't know much about the Astronomical League, there was a June 15th class getting started with the Astronomical League's programs. So here we're just going to drill into one particular program that's called the NASA Challenge. And the last NASA Challenge, and it may still be going on, was called the Parker Solar Probe Challenge. And a couple of people did that. And many people have done a lot of other challenges. All right, so safety, identify room hazards. We've got tripwires and whatnot here. Cables behind projectors, chairs with bags, low light, bright screen. Actually, we're probably going to leave the light on about what we have it right now. CPR, certified, anybody? All right, we're out of luck. Oh, wait, Kevin, we're out of, okay. It's all on you, buddy. One of us goes down. All right, we need an emergency caller. Secretary usually signs up emergency caller. Location of fire equipment. I have no idea in this room.
There's some in the hallway.
The hallway, and we're going to just run. Remote attendees, we always ask you to be aware of your surroundings. All right, so Hubble is working with the Astronomical League to coordinate something called Hubble's Night Sky Observing Challenge. So they're going to have some recognition, silver awards and gold awards given out by the Astronomical League, not by NASA. So the challenge includes 2 levels. So let's go to the mission website here. This is the NASA site. So I'm going to try to see if I can Alt-Tab like it taught me the last time. And we're going to go to Hubble's page. Now we're on Hubble's Night Sky Challenge. Those at home could click this on their own or just watch what we've got. So do you have it? Yeah. So this is Hubble. And again, it says here, Hubble's working with the Astronomical League to coordinate the Night Sky Challenge. providing observers with recognition of their achievement. The challenge includes 2 levels, and observers do not need to be an Astronomical League member to participate. All right, so if we go a little further into this, each month of the year has its own targets, and we'll go through those. So we're into February now. There's January targets are still there. At this point, as RAC Alcor, I'm just telling you, submit your January if you haven't done it yet, and label your logs January, and we'll get it in for January. And this is the last month I can do that. That's it, because by the end of February, then he's not accepting any January anyway. Huh?
Yes, for the deadline date.
Oh, the deadline for January's is February 28th. So we'll get into it, but if you have January sketches or images, you can submit them up to February 28th. But in order to submit for silver or gold, you will need what's called one event, and we'll get into what an event is. All right, so this is the big page. The night sky targets are going to be mostly Messier and Caldwell, so they're going to pick out some really nice targets. Some of us has tried globular cluster C25, and it was all averted vision. So some of these targets you will need at least a 6, perhaps an 8-inch scope in darker skies. You can definitely do it with a C-star. And we'll get into this in a minute. Here's January's full list and February's full list. So let's go back. Here. So that was just kind of an overview of the NASA mission Hubble site. All right, so now what happens is to what the site is for the Astronomical League. So let's go look at, so we're going to look at that. So this site, so you saw the NASA. Now what we're going to do is look at the Astronomical League's one. All right, so that's up. So we went from NASA to Astronomical League. So here's the NASA Astronomical League one. Now, what I can do here is show you how, at least how you get to these things. So if I go to the main page, go to Observe, Observing Programs. Now here is all the programs. There's some 40 plus programs that the Astronomical League has. And the one we're going to be looking for is the NASA Observation Challenge certificates. Now, I do believe that in the background, they have said that if you're going for the gold, they will have a pin, which will be pretty cool. All right, so as in all the programs they have a coordinator. This is Richard Benson, who I've been sending your stuff to. There's a quick view of the requirements over on the right-hand side. Tools, eyes, binoculars, telescope. Eyes are going to be pretty difficult. Maybe Messier 42, the Orion Nebula. But other than that, it's going to be pretty difficult. So you're going to have to use your telescopes. It is device aided, yes. Remote telescopes are allowed. I think on the AL chat, Doug Lively had put up a link to how and where a remote telescope is that you could use. It's kind of cool. There's actually 2 levels. One's a silver, one's a gold. Observations vary from 1 to 4 a month. All right, so as of all this stuff, there's requirements and rules. You either have to image or you've got to sketch. Now, on the table back there, what I did was I sketched the January ones for an example, and I imaged the February ones already. And as we get down through the PowerPoint, I'll show you in the PowerPoint, there'll be one example of my sketch and one example of Susan's C-star image for January. All right, so now this is the other thing you've got to do, meet the deadline, and you've got to do an outreach activity. Now we're going to scroll past the Parker Solar Probe. It's called number 11. Number 12 here is where the minutia of the text for the 35th anniversary challenge is. Now, in your packet, and this isn't for the ones at home, but I'll have these at the meetings. But in your packet, there's a Hubble Space 35th challenge. There's also a QR code stuff in here with a synopsis of what silver and what gold means, along with a night sky challenge QR code to show other people. In the front, and some of this stuff will also be at a meeting, be on the table. We did manage to print out, 500 of these, I think. So these are Hubble Night Sky Challenge, and it says, I participated in a Hubble 35th anniversary event. So when you have your outreach event and you're telling people you can use these, you run out, you can print these out and show people that. So that's part of the outreach, but I want to drill right to an outreach. Here it is.
Is this whole yes.
You answer. My hearings.
12 months, if you do it all 12 months, you go for the goal. You just do it like, you want to do it in January, and then you want to do it in June.
Yeah, let me give you a very quick synopsis. A very quick synopsis is a silver level. A silver level is any sketch or any image of one target in January. You have to submit that by February 28th. So between now and the end of February, if you haven't already done an outreach event, you need to do that just to submit the one target for January silver. If you're going for gold, you're going to do 4 targets for January, 4 targets for February, 4 targets for March, and so on. You can earn a silver, anyone can earn a silver at any time during the year for any month. So if you went all the way to April and you didn't participate in the Hubble yet, and you did 1 target in April, and you did 1 outreach event anywhere between January and April, and you can earn silver certificate for April that month. So I want to tell you, so an outreach, I want to highlight this. An outreach activity is anything that spreads the word to others about the Hubble telescope 35th anniversary. So Dana is going to get up on a plane tomorrow morning in his seat, and he's going to announce, have anybody here know about the Hubble 35th anniversary? And then he got it. That's his outreach. You can get up in church. Just stand up in church with a testimony. I've seen a Hubble 35th anniversary target. For the gold?
Yeah, 4 hours.
For the gold or silver, for the silver, you do 1 outreach and it could last for all 12 months. One. If you're doing a gold, you need to do that one outreach. It could last 11 months. And in December, you better do 3 more outreaches to hand in with the rest of your silvers. So you've got the whole year to do. So at Staunton River Star Party, you're going to be walking around telling everybody about the Hubble 35th and whoever, and handing out some cards. Correct. Correct. 4 over the entire year. Okay, so this could be on a website, a meeting, an outreach event, or a blog. So they've kept it pretty simple. All right, so let's go back to our presentation. That's not it. Back to our presentation. All right, so now that was the overriding page for NASA, the overriding page for the Astronomical League. All right, so as we were explaining, the silver, each month observe at least one of the objects, compare with the Hubble image. So that's the other thing they want you to do on a log, is compare with a Hubble image. And for those in the class and for those online, there are 2 logs embedded in the PowerPoint. One is my original log. You'll see the round circle on it. And one is the one that Naveen made for my log. My logs were over 20 years old, and apparently there's vestiges of weirdness inside of them if you try to do things with them. They're literally 20 years old. I never made a new one. All right, so we get into that. So the goal, again, is each month observe at least 4 of the objects on the list. So there's a small grace period for January left, 3 more weeks. You do January, do those logs, either 1 target or the 4 targets if you're going for gold. Label them, you did them in January, hand them in to me. If you label them, you did them in February and hand them in to me, I'm going to cross it out and make it January anyway, so you get your silver. Because it's the only one we can do this for. After February 28th, it's kind of cooked for gold. All right, so we'll go back to the NASA site. And what they have is the January targets were M42, Orion, M43, Demarian's Nebula, M1, the Crab Nebula, M78, Reflection, M79, Globular Cluster, and Caldwell 46. Now, in your packet, you will also have for those at home on Zoom, all of these that are in this packet are available on the Groups.io AL chat, or sometimes it says AL coordinator site, and they're all in there. So what you have is logs that I've already filled out just about everything. Well, I have filled it out. I've got blank spaces for you to fill out your log and compare it to the Hubble picture. So what I've done is taken the Hubble pictures that they have on the NASA site and put them in a log for you. So I've done that for January. And because we ended up here in February, you'll see February starts to use the new log. So you've got February ones in here as well. So you can get the masters for these on Groups.io, or you can use these, scan them in, do what you want with these here. We also have the blank logs. So the blank logs are there. The blank logs are also on Group.io. So you can put your own pictures in and do it your own way. Now, the only other thing for people in the class is there is another log in here that's much more substantial that I was going to teach last month. Probably a good idea we didn't, because I don't think we got through everything we needed to get through just for the Hubble. So there'll be another class in the summer with a deep dive into these logs. All right, so February got M46. Now, in reality, they really didn't do M46. What they did is they did a picture of planetary nebula NGC 2438. So if you look at those February logs in front of you, you should be able to find M46.
This one's the last page.
Dana's got it. M46. It just looks like a 3/4 of a blue donut with a red thing around. Well, that's the planetary nebula that they really want you to compare with a Hubble image. All right, Caldwell 7 is up in Camelot-Hardis Spiral Galaxy. We've got Caldwell 25. This is the one that Adnan tried to go see with his, what, 8-inch scope? It's a little difficult. I actually put 30 seconds on it with a 8-inch RC8, and I barely saw it. So it's tough. Eskimo Clown Nebula and Caroline's Cluster. So, all right. So now what we're really going to do now is we're going to assume that you know how to use a telescope and acquire these targets. I'm going to here to teach you how to acquire these targets, either visually or imaging. So therefore, we need to move on to how to satisfy the program requirements by logging. So there's logging going on here. All right, so we're going to look at a simplified log. So in the room here, that's these two logs. And I'm going to bring them up. I'm going to bring up one of them. I'm going to bring up the latest one. If I can here, see transparency, document. All right, there it is. So, all right, so it's a very simplified log sheet with the only things that they need. So you've got Hubble 35th challenge, put an X, visual or your imaging. The instrument you use, the aperture, the focal length. If you've got an eyepiece, give it what millimeter it is and what magnification. Your focal length divided by your eyepiece should give you your magnification. All right, so here, what I really wanted you to do was put your Hubble pick for reference. So you can do this yourself, or you can go out, and I'll put these out every single month with the Hubble picture already in that you can go grab. So, and the Hubble picture is there for you to identify the part of your image or sketch that corresponds to the Hubble. All right, so if you've got a camera, all we want to know is the camera, the duration, seconds, and stack. So, 30 seconds I stacked, 400 for Naveen, 4 for Dean. And here's your field of view. Now, what I'll say is after you put your own image or sketch in here, it's best if you learn how to describe it before you go to identify the part of your image or sketch that corresponds with the Hubble. It makes it a bit easier. So the other thing you'll need is your name, your date, your location. We're not looking for latitude, longitude here. We're looking for somewhere North Carolina, South Carolina, whatever you want to put down. We're looking at for the time. We're going to do it, PM, AM, PM. I'm not going to get into universal time or anything yet. That's for the summer, diving deep. Seeing in transparency, I am going to ask you guys to get into. So in the room, I've got you a laminated, Levine, did you get one? Yeah. Naveen, Anna should get one. No, the whole packet. There you go. So this is a field guide, because I'm noticing even the best are saying, look good. Maybe it was okay. I don't know. So we're going to put down some numbers here. We're going to learn how to do that. So that's the one thing we're going to learn how to do out of the more intense logging program. So down in the bottom is just another reminder of what an outreach activity is. It's anything that you can tell anybody almost. All right, so let's move on here. All right, so let's get these logs filled in. Okay, so we have enough, I have spares too, but everybody grab the January one for M42. Help me out here, man. It's not here. All right, M42. So we're looking for M42 Orion Nebula. All right, hand out some pencils. Let's get the pencils out. All right, we're going to hand out some pencils here in the room. We're also going to hand out some eyepieces. All right, Rob, start an eyepiece and pass it along. All right, everybody grab. Okay, so for the Zoom at home, an eyepiece is paper toilet roll. Go to your toilet, your bathroom, unroll, or have your cat unroll everything there is so you get to the you get to the you get to the eyepiece. And I'm going to tell you why we're doing that in a minute. All right, can I have a pencil, please? Did you get a pencil? Did you get an eyepiece?
Good thing that wasn't telling you.
I'm sorry.
Right.
All right, grab the, all right, grab it up. It does say image on it, an X. We cross out that image, put an X next to visual. The object is already filled out for you, M42. The instrument we're going to use here in class is going to be a 150 newt. So just write well 150 newt. I've got into the habit of writing down newt instead of Dob. I mean, it's a newt on a Dobsonian mount. All right, the size is 150 millimeters. Find your place for that. Your focal length is 750 millimeters. Of course, you will be doing this with your own scope. I just want to get you used to what's going on here. So your eyepiece, we're going to use a 20 millimeter eyepiece. Yeah, you can fill out whichever one. Well, yeah, fill out this one with a pencil. You can erase it later if that's the real one you're going to use. All right, your magnification is 37.5x. All right, so that's basically the top. Some scary stuff is just got done. So with logs, one of the hardest things is just getting started. Just getting past this point. All right, everybody good? All right, so now go down to the bottom. Your name here. And if you put your name here, like Dana just did. All right, we're going to say we've got this image 1/11/2025. The location was Raleigh. We didn't have Anna?
No.
Oh, she'd get a packet too. All right, the time, we're going to say 2100. You can say 9 o'clock if you want. We're going to say 2100. EST as well. All right, so once we've done that, if everybody's good there, now we're going to dive into seeing and transparency. All right, so how clear and steady are the skies above me tonight? So let's look at this. Oops. All right, so everybody, we're going to start looking at this sheet.
Do you want questions later or after?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm curious about transparency.
Right? We're about to talk about it. No, it's going to include light pollution. It's going to include smoke like we had last year. It's going to include humidity, because you're looking up through all this. So that's a layer. I mean, above all this layer, that's perfect, it's perfect transparency. Yeah.
That's
Right. All right. So what you've got here, a lot of what's here comes from this AstroLeague Seeing in Transparency Guide page. We're just going to go quickly to that. Nope.
All right, well, down, yeah.
Nope.
Bob right.
Bottom right there, right here.
Or the one to the right.
Document. Okay. All right. Well, I didn't go to the AL. I was trying to go to the AL page. A lot of this stuff is on the Astronomical League page. But let's just go through here. All right. So what I want you to notice is that this is Seeing in Transparency Guide that I made. I actually made a new one because mine was 20 years old. But these two scales are acceptable for all observing programs. And that's in there. Now, so again, seeing is a measure how stable the sky is, transparency a measure how clear. So seeing. So here's what we can do for seeings. You're going to look up. The brighter stars are not twinkling at all. Excellent. Very good. The stars are twinkling slightly, but the brighter planets are not twinkling. So this is a perfect opportunity that if you looked out most nights here, you're going to see Sirius right now twinkling. And it's a perfect time to look at Mars and Jupiter. Venus is pretty bright, might always be twinkling, but Mars and Jupiter would be perfect. If Mars and Jupiter are not twinkling at all, seeing is very good. So twinkling just means that the upper atmosphere, there's upper wind, and it's like looking over a hot road as you see the heat rise, or a hot building. So the same type of thing is going on up above you, is you've got upper winds. Sometimes you may have lower winds and look up in the sky and it's like, this looks perfect. So those lower winds are only within a couple 100 feet of you. Most of the time, this twinkling occurs with the upper airstream. So good, you would say good if the bright planets are twinkling, fair if the bright planets are obviously twinkling, and if everything is twinkling, you're in a hurricane. Pretty poor. I've never seen that before. All right. Transparency. How clear is the sky? So what we want to do is we really want to look at the Little Dipper, because all of us here can see the Little Dipper. So if you can see no stars in the Little Dipper from downtown Raleigh, and you're looking into 3 streetlights and you can see nothing, you have magnitude 1 skies, and you're probably not using a telescope anyway. Okay? If you can see only Polaris, you're in what's called mag 2 skies. If you can see Kochab or Percad, you're in mag 3 skies. So let's go to the videotape here. Now let's go to mag 1 sky. Mag 2 skies is only Polaris, which is a 1.9 mag star. Mag 3 skies, or transparency 3 out of 7, you would see gamma and beta. So you would see Polaris and the 2 further stars in the bowl. If you can see epsilon or delta, 4.21 or 4.34, you see Polaris, the 2 bowl stars at the end, and the 2 stars in the handle, you have what's called mag 4 stars. And your transparency is 4 out of 7. if you can see another bull star, or even also, I don't know, if you can see another bull star, I guess they're adding Zeta, and Zeta looks, well, about the same as Delta almost. But if you can see these two here, you're now in Mag 5 or Mag 6 skies. So on my best night in Youngsville, I can see all of them. That's on a very good night. On a good night, I can look over here with averted vision and see them. Last Friday, whenever it was that I went out, I could see, I was in Mag, 3 skies. I could see Polaris and these two, and maybe these two averted. So my skies over my house change all the time as well.
Magnitude 1.7.
Yeah, you would use what you would do. So you could do you could do seeing, you could say very good. You could do transparency, you could say I'm a 4, or I'm a 4 out of 7, or I have Mag 4 skies. Any one of those work. Oh, yeah, they're going to be connected.
They're not exact.
Yeah.
But you can see what would classify as mag 6 or 7 stars.
Yeah. Yeah. So
There's some relationship.
I would say when I see everything together here, I claim I'm in Bortle 4.5. Because they used to be Bortle 4 20 years ago, and we're bordering on 5 now. So I'm in Bortle 4.5. All right, so here's another scale for seeing if you wanted to do a 1 out of 5 scale. So this is the Antonidadi scale. Antonidadi scale. Okay, so we're going to claim that. Perfect seeing without a quiver, slight undulations, moderate seeing with large air tremors, poor seeing. You can see how this scale dovetails with the Astronomical League's version. All right, so what we can do is move on to our sheet then. Keep filling things out. So we'll go back to our slideshow. All right, so what we're going to do, let's fill this out for our picture. We're going to say our picture, our seeing was very good. Nothing's twinkling up there. Our transparency, we're going to say 4 out of 7. We're going to say we got Mag 4 skies. So this moves you a little bit ahead and into any program that the Astronomical League has for seeing and transparency. All right, so moving on, time to describe and sketch. All right, this is scary stuff. All right, so let's do a sketch, but why we sketch? So there is a sketching observing program. I'll not get into that right now, but from that observing program, what they want you to get out is sketching requires the observer to slow down long enough to record what is being viewed. This requires more time and concentration than writing words in a journal. As a result, amateur astronomers develop their observing skills as they see finer details in the object they sketch. Now, I've gone on to, and I'll also show you in my book back there when I did images, I also sketch and describe the images as well. And I've learned that I can see more when I describe the image as well as, visual at the telescope. And when I resketch the image. So we'll show you an example of that. All right, so let's look. At one, so this is, I use I use this Quattro 150p with an ASIA 183, so image, okay? I image it for 1 second. This is about what you would see in a 6 to 8 inch Newtonian. This is my 10-minute image. This is Hubble's image of M42. And this is M43 Demarian's. So you can see what we're up against. So what I want everybody to do here, so what we're going to do, we're going to sketch this thing. So everybody grab their eyepiece.
Visually without camera.
Do what now?
Okay, this photo here is.
This is a 1 second foot. You're going to use your eyepiece. You're going to use your eyepiece as if you were looking through that eyepiece to do this. This is how, because you got to come away, you got to go down, you got to go back up, you got to go back down. So we'll give you, what, 3 minutes, a 3-minute drill. All right, so what I would do first is I would sketch a couple stars, all right? The star that's in Demarian's nebula, you can see the nebula above M42, so I would sketch that star. I would go down and sketch those 3 stars in the wing, the lower wing of M42. Just kind of sketch them in. The trapezium you can see in what's called, anybody got the laser thing here? I'm going to have one, but it's buried. All right, so the trapezium is just in a fish's mouth. I would sketch that as a bright area. Then you would go over, sketch the fish's mouth, the dark portion, and start sketching some wings as if this thing's a bird, because that's kind of what it looks like to me. So I would sketch the outside. Nothing has to be perfect here. All right, so can you point the fish's mouth out here? Oh, I'll do it. All right, so that's the first star you should sketch. Those are the 3 down there. Trapezium. This is the fish's mouth right here. This is a wing of the bird here, a wing over here, and its tail's there. So you can use your pencil on your side. If you get colored pencils, you can do that too. All right, 54 seconds. I don't see any eyepieces being used. That makes it a real pain to do it. You know. You got to come away from the eyepiece. You got to down, up, down, up, down.
You're fun. At 2 a.m. in the morning.
I haven't mentioned that. I haven't mentioned that you will be doing this in the dark with a red light on it. Else you lose your dark adaptation and not be able to see a thing anyway. All right, that was it. Pencils down. All right, pass it around. That was it. If you get better than I did, there you go.
Well, same. Yeah.
Okay, let me show you what I really did, all right? When you're done, pass it back up and then we'll describe it. There's some cheat sheets for describing things. Well, I should have done a cheat sheet for you for descriptions, but we'll leave that for you guys.
Bullet points. First started doing it, I started writing out like a whole paragraph and I'm like.
Go get the
It's
sheet,
terrible.
please.
He said bullet points. But for your-
All right, we're gonna go to the Astronomical League page for some descriptions.
Anne's got a question on the back.
Okay, hang on. Here we go. Sketching. All right, I'm trying to get to the description portion here. So this isn't going to it for some reason. All right, we need to get here. All right, hang on while I try to get to the description portion because we're not having.
Anne's got a question.
All right, let's try this. I don't know if you know about it, but let's try this. In the Astronomical League, you can there's actually a search where you can bring up a lot more. Let's see, description. You get there, search for description, description guide. Okay, observing program log descriptions guide. All right, so here's what I want you to look at. Things like, is the object round, oval, irregular shape? If the object is oval, how is it stretched out 2 times longer than wide? Does a nebula fade out, have sharp edges? Galaxy have a bright core area, even brightness? All right, so let me guide you in this one. If we look at M42, we're going to say there's a bright core of stars. And since we know things, we know that's the trapezium. So we're just going to call that the trap. So we're describing ours, what we saw. We're going to say that it had a bird-like shape. We're going to say that hint, because we were using the telescope we were using, we're going to say we had a hint of blue red. We can say those kind of things, all right? So what we're going to do then is the last thing. Do I need to hurry up? Or are we good? Huh? You're about another 15 minutes at the max. All right, so what we're going to do then is compare our image or our sketch, which looks just like that image, to the Hubble image. And since we described it beforehand, what we can say is what part of our sketch corresponds to a part of theirs. Oh, well, I said we had a bright core. I had those 3 stars. I had that star there. Gee, I said ours kind of looks like a bird. Well, theirs looks like a manta ray filled in, but that's kind of like animalistic like. You know, I mean, it's your description. your sketch. And the whole reason for this Hubble NASA is for you to have fun and enjoy the Hubble image as you try to capture it with your visual scope or with your C-star or with your other imaging rig. All right, so now we're going to look at the dirty here. What mine actually looked like. This is Acrobat, here it is. Nope. All right, I got to find mine. Gosh, it's got to be somewhere here, right? Okay. Your picture.
Is it the 2 page? You had some questions.
That's it.
too. Oh,
No, that's yours. Bear with me. This one doesn't like any of those. Doesn't like any of those. Doesn't like any of those.
Oh,
Okay. All right, well, I struck out. Mine's back in the back of the room there. It's really ugly. Let's see if I can't find it. Because, yeah, I mean, it is ugly. You guys need to see it.
yeah.
What?
saying, double click on the.
Yeah, I'm going to try. Last time it didn't like that. I tried double clicking. It didn't like that. Say open. And then go. Huh. Well, I'm feeling bad at that. It's pretty bad. No better than what I've done here. But anyway, let's go to Susan's log then. All right, so this is the imaging log. We know we saw that. Okay, so this was Susan's imaging log done with a C-star. So you can see C-star 50 has been filled out, 50 millimeters, 250. We don't do magnification. What we do is field of view for cameras. So it was a 10-second, 60 stacks. So that's the picture she got. Well, this is what happens when you scan things in. So, we got 5, 6 visible stars. She saw some dark lanes, bright nebulosity, dust lanes, red, pink screens, those kind of things. So each log's your own log.
Shape, magnitude, color, filter.
I think in groups IO, I did put Susan's in there. So if you want that for your C-star stuff. So, you see stars 50 millimeters, 250 millimeter focal length, and IMX 462, that kind of thing. So here is her actual picture. So there's her actual picture, which looks a lot better than trying to crop it and stick it onto a log. But all we needed to do was, so when I submitted hers, I did submit hers as the log plus the pictures. We can do that. And you don't have to use this log. Al was asking me that earlier. You can use a log, any log you want, as long as it has the basic, what instrument you used, what camera you used, your observer, your time, your date, your location, seeing, so this has all the basics that they want you to have on there.
Zip them up and email it.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, zip them up, or Mike Keefe gave me 125 megs. I had to Dropbox it to the fella, so I can do that. So try to keep, each one within a couple megs. You don't need to have the, super good picture.
Does it have to be your very best image?
No,
or-
absolutely not. You're doing this to have fun. You're looking at Hubble's picture and go, that's so cool. Ooh, what can I see? Oh, this is what I can see with my equipment. This is what I can do. And if you want to get better and better throughout the year, you certainly can. But right now, I would just want you guys to get your January ones in.
Specifically. Susan, in yours, you got the field of view of the camera, but you ended up cropping the picture. So that's not the field of view of the picture.
I did crop it when I put it in there, correct.
Yeah, but the original one, I have it, so like,
What did you say?
So you can do both. That's fine. That's fine. For her February ones, I kind of like, put them in for her, then she describes and whatnot. I put in the full C-star picture.
that's the first
So.
one we did, so.
Very simple. It's like, calculate field of view shown. So I just ended up including.
No. Oh, well, no, I just. do
That's
a-
going to be on the logging in the summer when I show you how to crop your field of view and say what your field of view is.
I didn't actually put, like when we did the sunspot ones, we had to put north, south, what was flipped and all that stuff. And that, it just seemed like that's not really what they wanted us in that much detail. That's.
I was curious because for the cloud face that one.
No, the child, they just, you know what? They just want you to enjoy looking at the Hubble and going after it. That's really what they're after. So on the log, I will dive deep into in the summer, field of view cropped image. Didn't need to get into that as deep for this one. All right, so let's see what else we got left here. So those are the examples. Again, they're on Groups.io as well. So the January challenges, the February challenges, basically drill down to those. Yeah, you didn't have to double click. So the Hubble Nights challenges, drill down to the bottom, and you can see the January and February. We've got the February full list. And again, what they want you to do is go to this website and take a look and go, oh, this is cool. What can I see? And I really thought they just wanted you to do the M46, but then they show the planetary nebula. It's like, well, okay, we'll compare our image to the planetary nebula. Well, spiral galaxy, they kind of zoom in on that. The open cluster, they zoom in on that. Caroline's cluster, this globular, they're zoomed in on everything. I have no idea what palette they used to produce an orange clown nebula, because mine looks beautifully blue. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. If you dive deeper detail, okay. Right, right, right. Um, so, oh yeah, if you look at what I've done in the back, I did do this one. I did get it pretty good this time. All right, let me see what else I got for you. All right, so red light resources, I just shoved that in because here we are doing that in the middle of the day. You'll need that. Now, what I wanted to show you here, let's see, the AL coordinator topics. Oh, so yeah, so this is where I wanted you all to be, and I guess at home, hopefully you can see this at the same time. So the PowerPoint is in here. with the embedded stuff. Anything that's in this packet is also in here. Forget this file notice thing. I guess you can only put 1.5 megs of anything in there, and you can't hardly put anything in there. I can't figure out how to get rid of it now. So everything connected to the Hubble is here and here. The other thing I want you to always keep in mind is that if you go to our RAC page, you go to About, you go to AL Observing Programs, you go down here, you wait for this Airtable to load, it loads, and you can find, well, I guess we're right here. So this is all the challenges. This is the Hubble challenge, and everybody who's got stuff in here and their logs already. All right. So I'm going to take some couple questions. Then I've got some certificates, pins to hand out today for the Hubble challenge for Mr. Dana Bostic, Mr. Al Hamrick. So questions. Anna, did you get,
If you have a question,
Give
raise your
Hannah-
hand, we're gonna give you the mic, so everyone,
that's for Anna.
are you good? Question?
There was a lot of questions asked in the beginning. Okay, go ahead. You got to listen for me.
Okay, so when you're sketching, so there were like other stars than the nebula itself. I assume that you don't include those. In other words, when we're looking at M42, M43,
Oh, extra stars?
yeah, the extraneous stars, do we,
However many you want to draw. No, they're just
you don't need to.
Caroline's
exactly, but-
cluster, you draw a few of them. Notice
Okay.
what's happening. Now with an open cluster, you may notice that stars trail, that there's doubles. You may also see colors. So you can try to sketch and describe those kind of things. You
Okay.
see, like for M42, I basically told you the one star in, Demera's Nebula, there's actually, there's just one major one, the three down below, and you don't have to
Yeah.
sketch many
Okay.
others.
I mean, that's what I saw, but I
Yeah.
wasn't sure.
Yeah,
how
it's
much
easy.
to do. So,
This is a nice introductory to logs, to really neat targets, to you having fun, learning basic sketch, basic description, and comparing it to what you saw on the Hubble. And that's all there. That's all it's about.
So in the nuts and bolts of things, we fill out these forms and we do our sketches. Do we hand them in or do we need to scan them?
If you can scan them in
electronically?
and email them to me,
Oh, okay. All right.
that works fine. So yeah, email everything to me and then I submit them and images. Yeah.
Is his email address in here?
Yes, your email address is in here somewhere, isn't it?
Probably not.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, it's the, all right.
Actually, speaking of the files themselves, you mentioned earlier that for a couple of them, you included the or the image for Susan
Yeah,
in the document, but you also included the image as a separate file.
yeah.
Would you prefer that, or does it matter, or
You don't have to do that.
is it helpful?
Yes, sure,
Okay.
sure. It's helpful for you, for logs, for doing astronomical things later as well, to do those kind of things.
And for everybody to remember the Dean Herring rule of observing. Half your time is observing, half your time is logging. That's what it takes. That is the
Yeah.
Dean Herring Rule. I don't know that it's a rule, observation.
Is anybody on Zoom? Question?
No. The questions on Zoom. Anybody on Zoom have a question? Nathan?
I'm good.
All right, then we're going to hand out some awards. How's that? You do it?
She could, you can use your.
All right, we've got some hard-earned award here for Mr. Al Hamrick. All right, so Al earned the Solar System Award. It was kind of erroneously sent directly to him, so I don't have that one. But we also have the Constellation Hunter. We'll send it back. Yeah, the Constellation Hunter. And we have the, which allowed those two, Solar System, Constellation Hunter, allowed Al to become an observer. One step below Master Observer. He's already a Master Observer. All right, so that came with a nice, we've got a nice frame, and I also put it in a sleeve as well, just to hold the pin here. All right, well, congratulations, Al. It's good. All right, we've got a lot of hard work here. For every hour that's spent in outreach, there's probably 1 to 2 hours of setup, getting there, de-set up, deplane, unsetting it, whatever it is. So Dana has earned Stellar Award Outreach, which was 50 additional hours over outreach, and Master Level Outreach, which was another 100 hours. So we framed it and we put it in a sleeve, and it's a really cool pin. Lot of work. Lot of work.
Kids jumping on your toes.
You also get 10 for the first award. Second for the next. So that's 60, and then 100, that's 160 hours at least, if not a little bit more.
Yeah.
So that's overcoming the decade.
Well, I'm 4 years ahead and I've got 80 something.
Yeah.
Astronomy league is, or astronomy day is 16 hours each.
7 hours.
And
No.
everything.
Oh, you're logging astronomy days, huh? You You better be. All right, so speaking of the Hubble Night Sky Challenge, in recognition of completing the January silver criteria, Blair Groden, Naveen Malik, Adnan Akif, Dana Bostic, Susan Herring, Dean Herring.
Last one, because you weren't ready for the last one.